Welcome to the Fool's Guild, where we talk about everything video games. Well, welcome to the Fool's Guild. I'm your co-host, Mitch.
And I'm your other co-host, Perry. And today we're going to be talking about Sora in the Smash release. So, Mitch, you want to get us started?
All right, so Sora came out, and everyone, as soon as they saw the Mickey emblem, when Mario wielded the Keyblade for the first time, threw it, and everyone went nuts. Yeah. And Sora came flying out of the keyhole. Mm-hmm. And we can talk about first just his general appearance in the game. Mm-hmm. So what did you think about all of his different alternate forms?
All of his different alternate costumes and things like that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, starting with Kingdom Hearts 1, they got the Kingdom Hearts 2 outfit, Kingdom Hearts 3, Dream Drop Distance, and they've got my favorite form, Master Form, but they also put in the Brave Form and the Wisdom Form, which are very important staples from, I want to say, Kingdom Hearts 2. Well, I know it's from Kingdom Hearts 2, but everybody's in the series favorite regarding story elements and just general gameplay. So I feel like putting a lot of emphasis on those for costumes are pretty good. And then the Timeless River, good stuff. It was very expressional.
I personally wish that they took out the Dream Drop Distance form and put in the Master Form, because as you're saying, the Ultimate Form is your favorite. I thought the Ultimate Form looked really good because they kind of redesigned it with zebra stripes, which I thought was really cool. So I would have liked to see a different Master Form, what they would have done with that. As you say, it looks like a yellow banana, but honestly, they could have made it look pretty cool, maybe some flowery stuff. I don't know. Yeah,
they could have added a little bit more on there, but it just looked, Master Form just looked kind of lame. And it also just felt like a substitute, because when you're playing the game and you're basically in the end game, you get Master Form 2 seconds afterwards.
It's true. That's
true.
Well,
why would I use Master Form when I just have my Ultimate Form come out of nowhere, basically?
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, the forms, the way that Sora looks, I like the way that he looks.
I like it too. I personally also wish that they did some sort of anti-form at the end instead of the Timeless River form.
That is fair.
But honestly, Sakurai really likes the Timeless River form, it seems. So we'll give it to him as a thank you.
Yeah, definitely. They could have, how the old, the Timeless River and everything, how they have everybody bouncing around a little bit as an idle animation. He could have just been do or something like that. But it already looks really good in the first place.
It looks really good.
Yeah,
I think all the different facial expressions look really nice. Really cute.
Yes.
So we could talk about just the physics of the character. I mean,
our boy is very floaty, which makes sense. But I would have liked it if he was more, not really grounded, but just normal. He could have a very aggressive moveset if you were, more into using the Keyblade, where you just get in there and just hit people a bunch of different times. They kind of sort of had that in there with little zigzag attack that he does in midair.
The side B,
yeah, that one works for it, I think. But going back to Kingdom Hearts 2, about how that one's the creme de la creme of the fighting and all the games, basically, is they could have incorporated a few more moves from there. I was talking about the magnet move where he brings everyone in, and then the explosion move where he blows up the ground, sends everybody away, basically. Maybe, thinking about it like that, maybe he could have been too dominant of a character, essentially, because he has a lot of, I can bring you in, I can make you get away from me, and then I can blow you up with my magic. So maybe I'm overloading Sora with what I'm thinking about right now.
Maybe, but also maybe you're thinking of him as definitely a ground fighter as opposed to an aerial fighter, which I think is what Sakurai really intended for the character.
Yeah,
because I think he has one of the highest jumps in the game, and just his double jump, if you saw him, he kind of move off screen. I was dang, he's really just flying out of there.
Use those big feet for something. Finally,
instead of having big feet for shoes, just for Twitter people to eat, because Sora's now in the game.
Don't talk about feet.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
Please don't.
No, but I definitely think that they could have kept his smash attacks sort of as the magical attacks, you were saying. like his down smash and I think Super Smash Flash was sort of like a Thundaga, and then his up smash was like Aeroga, and he would like launch people up into the air.
Yeah.
But I definitely feel like his sort of like mashing system where you can like just mash the attack button and he'll like hit a combo. I think that's very reminiscent of the games.
Definitely. Yeah.
So I do like that.
Yeah, that works. Works very well.
But yeah, I definitely think that he should be a floaty character and like an aerial fighter. I do wish he was a little heavier because like back when people were modding Brawl, there was a lot of people who modded Sora onto Marth. And so I'm kind of used to Marth as like kind of a base skeleton, like physical frame. Like that's kind of the physics I see with Sora.
Okay.
But yeah, he's a lot floatier and a lot like, yeah, he's kind of like Jigglypuff.
Yeah. Like, I'd like to get to the ground sometime today. And while Captain Falcon's just like charging up a Falcon punch to blow me off the stage again. But yeah, like he's not bad. He's definitely not bad. I don't want to say that he's bad because he's not. It's like
we'll wait. Because Sakurai was like, yeah, these aren't the final tunings for him, so he could make him completely busted. You never know.
Yeah, just to get nerfed, like Greninja, like the millionth time.
Or Bayo. They still didn't leave Bayo nerfed.
Bayonetta needed more nerfs. He shouldn't be that good. But yeah, I feel like Sora is Sora. I'm just nitpicking a little bit, basically. Just a little bit.
Because he's our boy.
Yeah.
He's our boy.
15
we want him to be
years.
perfect.
Ever since I was a little boy, watching the Nomura's like simple and clean for the first time. Like I was like, whoa, what is this right now? This is the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then the music.
Yeah, the music. Utada, yeah. Utada's like Hikari, which was what kicked off like the whole trailer and ended the trailer, was beautiful.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't in the game just because like she wrote the song and then some other guy who wasn't Yoko Shimomura who like made the rest of the music for the original soundtrack made the arrangement for that. So it's like it's like a licensing nightmare. It's going to be really hard to get like Utada to sign off and this other person to sign off and then money and then Disney
like that's just
Nomura,
that's the whole bunch of things.
Yoko Shimomura. There's just like a lot.
There's like all the like Kingdom Hearts is like a pizza and everybody brought like I brought the dough, I brought the tomato sauce, well I brought the cheese, well I put the pepperonis that everybody eats. It's like, well, the pepperonis don't mean anything if I didn't bring the dough, essentially. It's like it's just a whole lot of stuff going on.
But there's a lot of music. Like I think there were maybe 9 songs that they put on there, and honestly, all of them are good. I wish they put a lot more emphasis on the other games though, because most of them came from Kingdom Hearts 1. There was the 13th Struggle that wasn't on there that I definitely would have liked to see, and yeah, there's just like a couple different battle themes because they really focused on Kingdom Hearts 1 for a lot of the aesthetic for the character. So
see, one song I really would have liked for a battle theme would have been Rage Awakened. When you're fighting Lear and Will for the first time, he just like gets up and is like, oh, how am I supposed to, and he has so many health bars and you're like, whoa, you need to calm down, buddy, and then you just get killed like a bajillion times. But yeah, just like imagining like your characters just like walking out of like their separate like abilities. Like somebody's like, who's the character who like Captain Falcon's like going back to him, is like getting out of his car, Sora's like flying in, Mario's like, oh, he like jumps out of like the warp pipe, and Kirby shows up on the warp star or whatever, and it's like Rage Awakens like it would have been pretty cool.
Yeah.
But, you know, licensing nightmares. And speaking of licensing nightmares, did we talk about the Ultimate Smash yet?
No, we haven't.
Yeah, okay. So again, I'll go back to my idea. My idea was like if Donald and Goofy could have been a part of it, which they should have, it should have been like a Trinity attack where Sora is like, come on, fellas. And then like they all like 3 attack the person. They do like the Trinity Smash first. Then Goofy is like, Donald, you're up. And he's like, flare! And like blows him into the sky. And then like I'm thinking maybe they could have, you know how like in Kingdom Hearts 3, how they have all those different Keyblades with all the different forms.
Yeah.
If they really wanted to shoot for the stars, he could have like brought out like a bunch of Keyblades and like used like one like ability like the for the Big Hero 6 one. They could use like the drill form of that one, and then like the Toy Story one, he could use like the hammer, and then like the Monsters Inc. where he used the yo-yos, and just to finish it off, he could have used like Oathkeeper, Oblivion, or like the Master form or something like that. And they just get blown up, and then they do like the little high five at the end of it. It's like, yeah. And they do like a little pose, and then Donald and Goofy like flicker away on like a light or something. Or he's like, thanks, guys.
So you didn't want like a big carousel to just appear on screen. You had to mash the, mash the A button, and that would deal 1 billion damage to everyone.
Nothing like that.
I was kind of sick of those attractions, but
dude, don't those fucking attractions, man. Excuse my language.
We'll get to that later. But let's talk about the other moves. So the special moves. What did you think of the special moves?
I wish Strike Rate would have been in there.
I completely agree.
I feel like Strike Rate is a very big staple because it's like isn't it one of the first like Keyblade magical abilities that you get aside from like
it's like a slight or a slate or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like I remember in Recon. Did you ever play Recon?
I played Recon, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I had a very hard time playing that because my brain was like, why can't I just hit the enemies? Why do I have to use these cards?
But there was like a very simple, I think it's like one of the earliest moves you can, or slights you can get, and it's Strike Rate, and you can just like CC a boss for 5 seconds before you can have your cards reshuffle and like Strike Rate again. So that was like a saving grace in that game and a lot of other games. But yeah, they had Slide Dash, I think was the side B, which I thought was really good.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's good to be able to use it after your up B, but did you see that? You could like up B and then side B, and it's the ultimate recovery.
Air, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little much, but I think it's Aerial Sweep, which is the up B. It has a lot of range. It's like Link's up B. But yeah, that seems really like a really good recovery option.
So yeah, you were talking about like Zentetsuken, right?
As a final smash?
Yeah, I don't think it would have. I think it would have been like a little bit too watered down as a final smash, but I'm thinking like as just a regular like attack.
It might be the side smash. Like they might name it that just like because it's like this option is the best for killing. So that might be it.
It's like somebody's like at 150% and then like Sora just like stands there for like half a second. Like you can obviously read it, but it can like say if your shield's really low, it'll break the shield and like send you flying basically.
Yeah,
I feel like that could work.
There was the counter. What did you think of the counter?
That's another counter. It's there. Does it like do anything? Does it have like a little special like lighting effect when he does it? I know he turns blue, like everybody turns blue when he gets attacked.
Blue, yeah.
But it's like I know he like puts up his little guard stance, so like his Kingdom Hearts 1 guard stance. We're like, yeah.
Or he like does a 360 in guards, like
does a whole 360. Like you're already in the perfect position to guard, but it's like I'm gonna do it like this instead, like,
with one hand, like
because I'm cool like that. But I'm thinking maybe they could have added like since Sora's like whole thing is like he can use all the magical elements, but he's mainly like light or whatever. It could have been like maybe like a key beam or something, like when he countered them, he could have been like bam or something like that.
Yeah. I think that's his up smash, but honestly, the smash attacks there's a lot to be desired there. But yeah, I don't like how the counter reflects projectiles behind him.
It does?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. That. So if you counter it, it'll like do more damage, but it'll reflect behind you because of the way his counter works.
Okay.
And then also the damage going back, like it'll stagger the enemy, but it'll stagger them a little farther behind themselves.
Okay.
And then he'll run into them and attack them for more damage. Okay. So honestly, I don't really like it, but I wish it would have been like a reflect. Like you remember the reflect move that he had?
Yes.
That was necessary for fighting like Sephiroth in Kingdom Hearts 2. Like I wish it was like that, where it actually like reflects projectiles and also like
it covers everything.
Yeah. But yeah. Oh, also it only covers in front of him, so the counter doesn't counter behind him. So it's just they should have done that. But I mean, Sakurai's a genius. So.
Yeah. Not diss him, Mr. Sakurai.
Oh, but what about his neutral special?
His neutral specials.
It's magic.
Yeah. His magic, yeah. They're serviceable. I like them. They work. Can he do Fire-Aga, like triple Fire-Aga in the air at all, or does he have to be on the ground?
I think he can do it in the air, but he'll fall.
Mm-hmm.
I know you can do more than 3, though. I think you can just spam it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. I thought it was just like bam, 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 basically. Like how you did like Dream Drops Distance, where the most powerful like versions of all the spells were like just do it 3 times and they're super big.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Because like when he does Thundaga, like they do it in the wave. He does it in the wave, so that's what I was thinking about.
Yeah, I don't know. I personally don't like the rotating spells because it reminds me of Super Smash Flash 2, because there was like Firaga and then it switched to Thundaga and then there's 3 Thundagas, then it's Blizzaga. I would have either done A, make all of the smash attacks the magic moves, or B, I would have made like the neutral special. Like, do you remember in Kingdom Hearts 2 when you had this like berserk, like MP berserk, so that when your like MP runs out, like it recharges, but then you have like
with, what Hero does, or it recharges by itself because you're attacking.
It recharges by yourself, and then like your attack becomes like this berserk thing.
Yeah, okay, I remember what you're
And so I wish they would have made your neutral special switch from like maybe have like the UI above Sora's head from attack to magic, and so you can use like side special, up special, down special as like magic attacks.
Yeah.
And then when you press B, it like switches to attack, and then they become like Keyblade abilities. So that's just what I was thinking.
Yeah, that could be really cool.
But that might make him too complicated.
Yeah.
And make him too OP, but you know.
Yeah. It just like switch it between like, all right, I'm out of magic. Time to switch to all my Keyblade attacks
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Oh, okay, I got all my MP back now. It's time to use this, you know, spam magic, keep away basically. Kind of like Duck Hunt.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw the can at you. Now I'm going to throw the Frisbee at you. Now
I have infinite recovery.
Yeah. And I have infinite recovery. And I can keep you away from me. And I'm a very good air fighter. So the only thing you can do is beat me on the ground. And even then, my counter takes care of the front and the back. What are you going to do? Come on, bro.
Yeah. It's last stock. Yeah. Oh, but yeah, let's talk about the stage now. Because we haven't talked about the stage.
Yeah.
Hollow Bastion. Your thoughts on Hollow Bastion?
I liked Hollow Bastion. Its best incarnation was definitely in Kingdom Hearts 1 when it was still Maleficent's castle, basically. And then it mainly became the town. And since they're mainly taking from Maleficent's castle, I feel like it's good with the way that it is because of like the way that the puzzles were set up and like my personal connection to it. I thought it was very good. Because the way the Kingdom Hearts story was set up at the time, where during what you thought was going to be the final world, Donald and Goofy pretty much leave you the second you lose the Keyblade. And Riku kind of dunks on you a little bit. He's like, here, go play hero with the sword. I'm like, bro, you're treating me like garbage. That was
the biggest slap in the face.
He's like, you were just
like, why don't you spit on me while you're at it?
He's like, you were just the delivery boy. And I'm like, Riku, what the hell, man? You're supposed to be my friend. It's like, the only person who helps you out is Beast.
And I'm going to go bang Kyrie in the back. Like, have fun being a little bug. Oh my gosh. No, yeah, that was brutal.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. That's like the first game had a lot of heart to it. Nomura definitely ripped out my heart for that whole hour. I was being a little baby through Hollow Bastion and I couldn't fight any of the Heartless by myself. I had to just keep spamming all my ethers because I couldn't hit them at all.
Yeah. I wish they would have either like went into Hollow Bastion to see like that little reactor thing where you fight Riku.
Definitely.
And had a little more nostalgia. But honestly, like giving me Whiplash just zooming around Hollow Bastion is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I personally, when I was watching Hollow Bastion, I paused it and I was like, dang, I really wish they would have just done Dive to the Heart. Because there's like the little center platform, and like when you're in Dive to the Heart, you can like walk up those platforms. And I was like, that would have been a perfect thing. And then Sakurai in Japanese goes, when your stocks are running low or time's running low, it'll turn into Dive to Heart. And I was like, I almost cried. I was like, Sakurai, listen, I'm in love with you, man. Like, please, just, I'll keep talking. Just keep talking. And it was just like, man. And the stage changed and I felt like a kid again. And I was like, oh man.
Like thinking about Hollow Bastion, you were bringing up like the reactor where Ansem was, I forget what he was doing there.
Oh
yeah. Kingdom Hearts plot is way too complicated. All I remember is like we fought Riku there. I was thinking like while you're like zooming around Hollow Bastion, baby, like you know how like in Bayonetta stage where it like changes around a bunch of times, they could just like set you down there for like a little while, just let you fight there for like a minute or two, and then like the Heartless come in and like consume the screen basically. And then maybe it could become Dive to the Heart, or maybe the stage like starts over again or something like that.
Oh, interesting.
That could be pretty cool, but you know, they don't pay me the big bucks, so you know, what can I say?
Or it could have even been like Traverse Town, because like Traverse Town's a part of all the games, right?
Well,
so.
I don't think it was in 2. It got replaced by Twilight Town, starting in 2.
I think it was still in 2 though, right?
Wasn't in 2?
I don't remember. But Twilight Town was just as good.
Yeah.
Honestly, Twilight Town could have been cool too.
Yeah. They could have gone to the mansion. They could have like done the struggle arena. There's a whole bunch of stuff they could have done.
But they were definitely focusing on Kingdom Hearts 1 at that point. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, one of my ideas was to have like a Dive to the Heart. And I do like all the characters there. I wish they would have done like something different. Like maybe had Princess Peach dive to the heart and like have like Mario, like Rosalina dive to the heart and have little Lumas around her.
Yeah, that'd be cool as heck.
Yeah, but honestly, I liked seeing all of the other characters back again. Like Terra, Aqua, Shion, Ventus. Shion specifically. Poor girl.
Miss everybody for... Like imagine like you actually got erased from existence and
nobody remembers you.
Yeah, also a lot of fans just didn't like her in the first place, so that's a double whammy right there.
Dang.
Yeah,
I never knew about that.
Yeah, you know, the internet's a weird place. But like speaking about all the characters, I felt like Roxas would have been a very good like Echo Fighter variant for Sora because of the other self thing.
Yeah.
But again, like you were saying earlier, they were mainly focusing on Kingdom Hearts 1, so it makes sense why they didn't add him in there, but I feel like he would have been a very cool inclusion. He could have just had, say, for like his alternate costumes, like half of them, or like a third of them, he has the Kingdom Key, another third of them, he has Oathkeeper, then for another third, he has like Oblivion, basically, and they're like all the darker like colors or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like that could have really worked out pretty well.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't do that for the other, like for Sora. Like I was surprised they didn't do like Oathkeeper for like Wisdom form, like Oblivion for Valor form, and then like 2 Become 1 for like Ultimate form. But honestly, it's whatever. Yeah, King Key's iconic.
Yeah, it's the one. It is the one that everybody knows about.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But speaking of that, like, who's your favorite Kingdom Hearts character?
That's a toughie right there.
I personally really liked Roxas. Yeah. I just think his storyline, because honestly, and this is going to get me a lot of hate, but Kingdom Hearts Days was my favorite game.
You liked it.
I
can understand liking the plot today's, but the gameplay may be one of commit multiple crimes.
Wow, that is the opposite of what everyone else says.
Oh my God.
I don't know if you realize, everyone hated the story. The story was like, I'm an emo writing in my journal, and then I'm going on this reconnaissance mission for no reason, and that's the whole gameplay.
I feel like, I think I'm going to sound crazy here, but I think that, okay, I am crazy, but I feel like the way that Roxas treats it basically as his job reflects the plot really well, because the only thing he wants to do is sit at the top of that clock tower and eat ice cream with his friends after a long day of work. And I'm thinking to myself, damn, I can kind of feel that right now. And he, like, the cherry on top of that, he's writing in his freaking diary about this. And don't other people like come in and read his diary, because he just leaves it like right on his desk? I think Axel came in and read it one time. He's like, dude, are you all right?
What a nerd. He's like, why are you waiting for me to eat ice cream, bro? He's like, get a life.
He's like, man, the organization's got me doing so much crazy stuff these days. Like, Rock's like, can I do something crazy? Like, no, you go on this reconnaissance mission, you nerd.
It's like, you're a Keyblade wielder. We need to keep you safe. Go check out what's going on in the world that never was.
Or in Agrabah for the 15th time.
Dude, Agrabah, honestly, okay, the boss fights in that game were some of the best fights.
They were pretty good, yeah.
Okay,
like,
at least we can agree
I was
on
like,
that.
okay, so like...
the Kingdom Hearts 1 fights, honestly, to me, are the best fights. But the Days fights, they were pretty hard.
Oh, yeah. I really... Like, what was that one in Halloween Town? Or...
Yeah, the tentacle one.
The tentacle one made me very angry as a kid.
Yeah.
And like, this is before like guides came out and everything. So I couldn't just go online and be like, how do I beat the tentacle boss? It's like, I had to figure something out. It's like, okay. I'm going to restart the whole mission. I'm going to bring a bunch of cure spells, a bunch of potions. And then after that, I'm just bringing straight fire after that. And I'm just going to trust that I can dodge all of his attacks really well.
Yeah.
And then it eventually worked out.
Yeah. That boss was crazy. And then it would like eat you, and like it would take time to eat you, and you'd just be like, well, guess I can't do anything for 10 seconds.
It'll also take your HP too.
Yeah.
And it's like, I have a very limited amount of this. I mean, I know that's why they gave you so many freaking potions in that game, but still.
But I love games like that that'll just make you depressed, like for playing it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's just me.
One of definitely my one of the fights that I remember the most from the game is like the battle with Xion at the very end, where you go through all the worlds with those little Wi-Fi towers that they had you put up basically in all the worlds. And she like absorbs all their power.
The 5G,
Yeah, the 5G power, as she's trying to like force Roxas to become like one with her again.
Yeah.
And like when she shows up on the tower and she's looking like Sora, I'm like, dude, what the heck is going on here? But the most difficult one that I had was again in Halloween Town, because she kept spamming Ragnarok every time you got too far away from her.
Yeah.
And for some reason, Ragnarok was just so difficult to dodge, because with your crappy dodge roll, it was like, it didn't have as many invincibility frames. So you would lose half your HP. And then by that point, I would just be like, okay, got to spam limit on this one because I don't know what to do.
Oh, no, what I would do is I would just glide around and then like whenever, because they eventually... Like I would glide around and then get near her, and then she'd like try to attack me, but then I'd just like glide around her in circles, and then the Ragnarok would fall off, and then I just hit her 3 times, but then I have to glide again because she'd be like, dang, you're getting away from me.
Yeah. And then her big form in Twilight Town was pretty easy to beat.
Yeah.
Because I had to stay like right near her stomach, and I was like, whack, 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 whack. Low on health, limit. Yeah, pretty easy.
The wall fight. I don't know if you remember the wall fight in Beast's Castle. That was in that game, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that one was pretty hard because it's just like, dang, it's like I have to fight a wall.
Were you by yourself or was Zalden with you?
I think Zalden might have been with you, but he wasn't really a help.
Yeah.
Kind of died all the time.
I mean, the only person you could rely on was Roxas during the game.
At the end of the day, yeah. Honestly, Zalden was probably my favorite organization member. I don't know about you.
I'm pretty lame, so I liked Braig Zigbar just because he just made funny jokes the whole time.
Really?
Yeah, well, not funny jokes. He was like,
He's kind of sarcastic.
Yeah, I like characters who taunt you the entire time, who are pretty much like, even though you beat me, I still think that you're a loser, basically. Kind of like,
that's fair.
Like with a Blue from like Pokemon. He's like, smell you later. I'm like, I just beat the crap out of you. Like, how are you still talking crap right now? And Braig would be like, you beat me, but I wasn't trying my best. And I'm like, are you serious right now? Then in Kingdom Hearts 3, it was like, yeah, that's actually kind of true. So yeah, I'm excited to see where that goes, but still trying to think about my favorite character.
I definitely think that the Kingdom Hearts days, like the ability system. I don't know if you remember that at all.
Yeah, like the whole like chart thing.
It was like a grid. Yeah, that's definitely my favorite part of the game.
I like that a lot,
that's
too.
the best like ability system in the whole series. Just because like in 1 and 2, you're just like, okay, I have 7 ability points. I could spend them on like strike rate, or it's just like, okay, it's like
just like put
a resource system. But like in days, you're like, man, I have to put this Tetris block in like this 4x20 area. How do I do this? It's just like, I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, I liked it a lot too, especially when you were trying to like configure your Keyblade, because none of the Keyblades in there were like, oh, this is directly linked to Agrabah. This is directly linked to Atlantis or something like that. It's like, oh, this one makes your attack stronger and your attacks be like extend your combos basically.
Yeah.
But then there were a few of them in there. It's like, you had Kingdom Key, and then you had Two Become One, and then Oblivion Oathkeeper. But everything else was like some random offshoot. And maybe thinking to myself, like, okay, I can play around with this and see like which one works best for me. Eventually, I just chose like Two Become One because that was like the strongest one in the game. But yeah, that was very good system just to make you think a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I really liked it.
It was very fun.
I might have not liked this, but they also had your levels in there. Like you had to put like level blocks in there, and that would raise your level. And I'd just be like, why do you have to do that? Why can't I just gain a level?
Yeah.
Or why can't it just be like every level I gain an ability slot that I can do more stuff with? But you know,
I'm thinking I like Xehanort the best.
Xehanort?
Yeah.
Ugh.
I kind of like think to myself, I think characters who actually, just do something, because everybody else is just really reactionary. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Like Ventus is reactionary. Aqua is super.
Ventus doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I want to go back to Aqua later. Like Terra's super. Like I just want to talk about Birth by Sleep. Basically, it was a very good game. I like Birth by Sleep. Like their combo system.
That's pretty good.
It was very good. Yeah, but Xehanort actually, before the Master of Masters showed up, he was like the crux of everything. Is like, I want to know more about the darkness. I want to do this. I'm going to kidnap these princesses and use their hearts so I can find Kingdom Hearts, so I can do something with everything. But then, Riku's also very good because he was very proactive in what he wanted to do. It was his idea to leave the island. Yeah. When the darkness came, he was like, cool, we don't have to use that crappy raft anymore. And Kairu's going to come with us. Everything's going to be great, Sora. Just come on, accept the darkness in your heart or whatever. But then Sora's just like, I just want to find my friends, which is it's the typical hero thing. But it's like, I wish he would have been more
proactive instead of reactive.
Yeah, like when you first go to Traverse Town and you're looking around for what did they send you to look for? Like your friends, basically. Yeah. Sid was like, hey, maybe your friends are around town, go look for them. And then you just keep missing Donald and Goofy every time you go to a different area,
and you get your ass beat by Leon 15 times.
Yeah,
and he takes you to his hotel room, where you meet, which is kind of sus.
Yeah. Like these older people are just watching this 14-year-old sleep. Yeah. But yeah, I just like the way that he does stuff. I was like,
yeah. No,
I
know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's hard to
he's kind of the catalyst. He's the one who moves the plot and the story, whereas everyone else is just kind of
they're caught up in his web of stuff that he wanted to do.
Like they're trying to stop him, or they're just trying to whatever.
Which really sucks, because even at the end of every single game, at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, he kind of had a point. He was kind of like, there's too much light in the world. You guys kept beating me at every turn. I'm like, you know what? The world's supposed to be in balance, right, Xehanort? He kind of has a point there. But then he went off to heaven with Ericus at the end so they could play chess all day.
So that they could, do nothing again. And
just watch everybody do anything. But going back to Birth by Sleep's system, I really liked their melding system and how they had instead of MP, they had cooldowns. Which is, I feel like, was very interesting thing to do, because it forced you to do a lot more resource management.
Yeah.
And then the shot locks, that was the first time it was introduced into the game. So figure out which one just worked best for if you were playing Ventus, Terra, or Aqua at the time. It was very interesting. I ended up liking Ventus the most in the game because of his, how you have the reaction commands too, or what do they call them? Just the commands where you have say fever pitch, and then you go into wing blades or something like that, and then how it changed his animations a little bit. I'm like, that is super cool. And then Aqua had magic hour or whatever, where she would throw her keyblade with magic and just be able to do she snaps her fingers and Thundaga comes down. And then for Terra, how he would actually change because it's a PSP game. He was summon rocks out of nowhere and be able to attack somebody with them. That is very cool. Because at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2, when you got the secret movie or whatever, you're thinking to yourself oh, those guys feel like actual Keyblade masters, so they should be able to do some cool stuff. And then Birth by Sleep actually delivers on it. Yeah. So it was very cool.
Agree. And they were very different, the way they play. Yeah. I thought that was a very interesting thing when they just had you do 3 different stories, and each of them just felt like a completely new character. And you didn't really have to choose how you were playing. You just choose the character. I definitely like Aqua's gameplay the most.
Yeah. I liked her.
I just like the magic.
Yeah, all her magic was crazy.
I like her cartwheel.
Yeah, her cartwheel. And then like she had like the magic in that game was also really cool. I remember like Vanitas's one move where he would like teleport to you and then he would like leave a clone in the air.
Yeah.
Like the time splicer ability. I thought that was so cool. Just the way that it looked aesthetically, which is very interesting. And going back to Ventus again, like his tornado move, which is basically Aeroga.
Yeah.
How his like kit basically revolved around like he uses the wind moves, Aqua uses like the Aqua moves, Terra uses the earth moves, obviously.
Yeah.
Like they all, again, like going back to what you said, they all felt like very unique characters. So yeah, it was very just good to play.
I personally did not like a lot of the fights in that game. Just like that one, I just remember this one where it's like a treasure vulture in the air.
That was,
and I just banged my head against.
That in Peter Pan's world?
It was, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then there were, I think also,
Aqua's fight?
Yeah, it was Aqua's fight, and then I think Hook was trying to shoot you down too, and I was just like, please get me out of here. Yeah. And then also just like the ambiance of some of the places, I just didn't feel like it was complete.
Yeah,
just in
like,
terms of the worlds.
Yeah, for Cinderella's place, like definitely,
yeah.
it could have used like a lot more stuff
like assets.
There. Yeah, could use a little bit more oomph to it.
But I definitely think the gameplay was very fun. I think that was definitely one of its strong points. Anything else on Birth by Sleep, or do you want to move on to Kingdom Hearts?
Everybody in that game was very dumb. Like,
it's true.
They could have.
It's true.
I know I was geeking out about how Xehanort does stuff, but the entire plot could have been evaded if Terra had just waited 5 more seconds.
It's true.
Back at the land of departure, it was just like Eric is going to be like, just chill for a second. I'm going to make you a Keyblade Master. You just, okay, 1, stop listening to Xehanort so much. And 2, when you go out there, just chill a little bit. Because again, Terra does so much stupid stuff. He locked Princess Aurora's heart, so when Aqua showed up, she had to unlock it. And she's like, what? Terra's being evil? Oh my gosh. And then Vintage is like in between like 2 divorcing parents, basically. Yeah. And he's like, guys, calm down. I'm like, shut up, Vintage. We're having an argument right here.
That's totally what it felt like. Oh my gosh.
But yeah. It was a fun game, but also very silly. Like it's like in Breaking Bad, like how Walter White just gets away with everything until the very end.
Yeah,
like the Jesse me, like he can't keep getting away with it. Keeps getting away with it.
Oh my gosh.
And he gets away with it all the way to the very end because he gets to go to heaven with his best friend. Too.
There's no consequences for that guy.
No consequences. Hey, I know I traumatized you and your friends for like 15 years in the span of 2 years, but you know we're good now, right? Like, yeah, you gave me the ultimate Keyblade. Yeah, we're good, bro. Don't even worry about it. But yeah, we can go on to Kingdom Hearts 1 now.
All right. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. Yeah. What do you think of Kingdom Hearts 1? Do you think it was the best game?
It felt the most magical to me because of the way that the plot just worked out and going to like, because during the time it was like all like Disney was having its renaissance, know what I mean?
Yeah, for
like
sure.
All the best movies were coming out, like Tarzan. I think it had just gotten re-released or just released for the first time. It came out like 2005 basically. Sometime around that.
Kingdom Hearts?
No, Tarzan. Like the original Tarzan, or was it before then?
Well, Kingdom Hearts came out in 2002.
Yeah.
Or 2001.
So I'm thinking that...
So it would have been before then.
It would have been before then, yeah. But basically, it has like Disney's greatest hits basically in there. But aside from like Lion King, and that came in 2, but we'll get to that later.
But Simba was still in the game because it was as a summon.
Yes.
Even though that's kind of lame, but...
Yeah, but it still works.
It still works.
Yeah, it basically had all the Disney. They had Monstro... Tarzan's Jungle World that was stupid, like Alice in Wonderland that was stupid, Atlantis before it became a sing-along, and what other worlds do they have in there? Because I forget.
I think they had. Oh man, I'm blanking.
Yeah, I'm blanking on
but
yeah, I just remember like
they had
the Olympus Coliseum. There's that.
Oh, they always had that one.
Yeah, that's always one of the ones. And then they have the world at the remnants of Destiny Island, basically at the end of the world. Hollow Bastion. They had Agrabah. And then I think that was all of them. Maybe I'm probably forgetting a few.
There's probably one or two more, but yeah.
But the way that they did each movie, it felt more like than sort of was just like watching the cutscenes along with. It's like, oh, I've seen Aladdin like a billion times, but Sora actually felt like he was there helping out with things, as opposed to like say in Kingdom Hearts 3 when we get tangled and you're just basically rewatching the movie, and Sora's just like he got self-inserted there. Yeah.
No, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I definitely think that there were times where it felt a little robotic. I don't know if you ever noticed this, but when you finally like hit the keyhole with your Keyblade, the main character always goes, Sora, Donald, Goofy.
Yeah, like I'm thinking like I'm thinking like Alice from like Alice in Wonderland. She's like looking at all of them, like doing a little head nod too.
Yeah, I could like every time, like if I go back and played it, I'd be like, okay, here it is. And then Ariel's just like Sora, Donald, Goofy. I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah. It's like they licensed that as one character. No, but I thought the gameplay in that was definitely like really, really solid. I would definitely say that game is much more of a platformer than any of the other games, just because of how condensed it is and how you have to definitely utilize your jumps in a much more meaningful way than in Kingdom Hearts 2 or 3 or Days, because you can just fly around the screen doing whatever you want.
Like you get float and glide pretty early on. You have a bunch of dashes. You can use the Keyblade to dash in the air too.
Yeah. I also think the magic system was a lot more like simple, because you just had an MP bar with like the MP like notches, and you could tell how much MP you had left. I just thought it was like a really solid game.
Yeah, it's fair. The only thing that I didn't like about Kingdom Hearts 1's like fighting was the magic system, and that's only because I don't like using ethers because I'm insane. And I'm the type of person who gets 99 ethers and it's like, oh man, this is the final battle, should I use one of my ethers? Like, nah, I'll be fine. It's like, don't you want to use at least one of them? You have every single like 99 high potions, 99 potions, 99 mega potions. It's like, I'll just use cure and my Keyblade, I'll be fine. And I'll use fire every now and again. It's like, just hit him with the Keyblade, it'll be fine. But then that definitely changed like as the games went on. It's like, oh, magic is refundable basically, and if you're really in a pinch, use your ether. And like the boss fights also got like a bit harder too. There is one thing that I do miss from Kingdom Hearts 1 that they did was like the technical things, like saying like when you're fighting Ansem at Destroyed Destiny Islands and he summons his guardian, then he like throws like the little wind blades at you. You can put your guard up, or you can actually hit them back to do more damage to it. And I'm like, and you get like technical like PP, like extra points for that. I'm like, oh, that's a very solid thing to do, like rewarding like players for one, probably replaying the game, or two, figuring something out like in the middle of a fight. Yeah, I thought it was very cool. And something that I wish they would have brought back is like, you know, at the beginning of the game when you're talking like Tita, Selphie, and Waka, and they're asking you like the questions about like yourself, and you're like, oh, I want to be number one, I'm afraid of growing old, yada yada yada, and how they have like what the way your adventure starts, like it starts in the morning, noon, or night. I wish they would have brought that back, because I feel like that gives a bit more like energy to the player, as like, oh, the way that you set up this journey wasn't just like, oh, this is just how we balance the game. It's like, oh, you think you can handle like everything when it's like super difficult at the very beginning and then super easy at the end. It's like, or you can have like your difficulty easy, but at the end of the game, you're gonna be struggling a little bit. I feel like it brings the player into it a little bit more, and I wish they would have brought that back. With the choices, at least, because I know you can be like, oh, I want to do easy mode, normal mode, or proud mode, or critical mode if you're insane. But
I don't know. I personally wasn't the biggest fan of like choosing how the experience worked in the game, because that made me like super anxious and being like, oh, how do I do this? So I just really liked choosing my sword and then choosing the shield. I never chose the scepter. I never chose the scepter. Never. I was like, I'm about to smack these hoes. No, but I thought the collection system in Kingdom Hearts 1, where you're like picking up all the dogs in the chests, I thought that was really cool, because it's like, I definitely feel like I I liked the platforming aspect because you would just have to you would just find them in random places that you never thought you could. Like you're just hopping up different like trees, and then there's like a green little chest. What's in here? And it's just like Dalmatians like 3 through 8. It's like, how did Dalmatians 3 through 8 get in here? You know? But yeah, I definitely like that. I thought the Tarzan world was pretty cool though. Yeah. How you could like slide down the vines.
It's like when you got glide, it was definitely a lot more manageable because I didn't like jumping on those hippos to get to like one location because like a good chunk of like the trinities were there. Like because the game was very good about that. Like Kingdom Hearts 1 was like, oh hey, go back to this world to find something like the Dalmatians or whatever.
Yeah,
and it's like yellow trinity is here. It's like, yes, I got an extra orichalcum so I can make this or whatever. Yeah, because in the later games it kind of felt like it really didn't matter a lot. Like say it was non-existent. It's like, I found the chest that has orichalcum plus in it. Whoopee. Yeah, it was like, or you're doing like the gummy missions like in 3. It's like, just shoot this rock, it has some orichalcum in it. It's like, okay, cool. I don't really feel like I earned it at all. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no,
I totally know what you're saying. And we can get into like Kingdom Hearts 2 now, unless you want to talk something else about Kingdom Hearts 1. I like the Trinity systems. I wish they included those more. But I also thought it was like an eyesore. Like I just see a glowing like green thing on the ground. I'm like, that's fair. Well, there's that.
Yeah. I guess the only thing I really want to talk about is like going back to that magical feeling. It's how at the very end, like everything felt very connected because you're always like, do. We're like, all right. Like at the end of the game, we're like, we were talking about this earlier, like where Riku like takes the Keyblade from you, like lose Donald and Goofy for a little while. Like you really feel their absence and the Keyblade's absence. And then when Sora does the whole meme to death, even though it's a very great scene, like my friends are my power bit, it feels like, everything's back on the right track again. And then when Hollow Bastion gets destroyed, you head back to Traverse Town, you have a little conversation with Kairi, and then you get Oathkeeper. And I'm like, that's very good. And because I kind of like used it for the rest of the game. It's like, well, Kairi's counting on me to go save Riku, so I basically have to use this now.
Yeah. No, yeah, totally. It's very nostalgic, and just like you feel like a kid playing the game. I don't know what it is. Yeah. And then going on the 2, I feel like that's kind of how they lost it. Okay. So I have confessed this before, but I need to do it again. I didn't beat Kingdom Hearts 1 the first time that I played through it because I got Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 at the same time. Yeah. And me being a little kid thinking to myself, like, you did like, say like for Sly 2, you didn't really need to play Sly 1 to understand it because you got the recap basically. Or Jack.
Yeah, or Jack. But okay, I was kind of right, but kind of wrong at the same time. Like the opening movie basically tells you everything that happened, even in Recon, because I didn't have it at the time. I was like, why are they in a castle? Who's this guy with pink hair? Who's this guy with these cool looking jackets on? Who's the guy with the bandages wrapped around his face who has like a one yellow eye? And then, long story short, I was basically thinking at the very beginning of the game, I thought that for some reason Sora was like, I'm tired of being the Keyblade master, basically. So he went off. He basically abandoned Riku and Kairi and went to a town that was basically like Traverse Town just to go hang out and eat ice cream all day. And I'm like, wow, Sora, way to abandon your friends.
So you thought Roxas was Sora?
Yeah.
My gosh.
I thought he changed his hairstyle because for my little kid brain, I'm like, he kind of looks like Sora. Makes sense. Like Sora's the protagonist. Why would they change him?
And now he sounds like Jesse McCartney for some reason.
Kingdom Hearts 2 beginning with Roxas, like the first 7 days. That was some good stuff right there. And it was like condensed into like 2 hours about Roxas' whole just existential crisis that he's having as his entire world is breaking down around him and his friends don't really it's weird because, you know, the whole data world and everything is like their connection isn't exactly real and everything, even though once you leave the data world, they're like, that guy kind of looks like somebody we know. Kind of crazy stuff that Nomura has been doing recently. But the way that everything kind of just proceeds, it's very intriguing. It does like the whole intrigue plot thing. It's like, okay, how'd the nobodies get in here? Who's this guy in the black coat walking around? Who's Naminé? Is she just like, hi, Roxas, how are you today? Like, wait, what? Like,
yeah, it hooks you in really quickly. I think that's definitely like one of the biggest parts of the Kingdom Hearts 2. I thought the intro was probably, and I hate to say this, but that was like one of my favorite parts of the game. And just like getting to meet all those characters and like just like it was so relaxing. Like getting a job, you're like, oh, this is my summer job.
You're doing
And
my
it's
summer
just-
job.
Yeah.
No
But-
parents telling us what to do. We're just hanging out. We're hanging out in this random back alley that nobody does. Like Traverse. I mean, Twilight Town must be one of the safest towns in existence.
Oh, yeah.
Because a bunch of teens just take over. Like there's a random place and nobody's just like, okay, sure, they can hang out there. Nobody cares. And then Cypher being like the local bully.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
I'm just really good at hitting balls in the air with a stick.
Yeah, especially like when he fights Roxas for the first time. He's like, "You can give us back the photos now," and they cut out photos. Yeah, you remember that? He's like, "That is proof we totally owned you, lamers." I'm like, "Are we in a '70s movie right now?" It was hilarious. It was really good. But and then when Axel shows up.
Axel's like, I made it into the data world. Get out of here. We got to get out of here.
We gotta get out of here. Roxas like, come on back, buddy. I came to save you. He's like, who are you? And then when they do their fight, like in the mansion,
Yeah.
that was Nomura was on a hot streak with that
he was-
very beginning of the game. He knew how to just like every like 5 to 10 minutes, like bam, here's another thing, bam, here's another, and that kept up for the entire game basically.
Yeah.
And then when I was also confused. I'm like, how can he dual wield keyblades? But when he like brought him out for the first time, he was like, and it
didn't matter. You're just like, oh, it's just
the
cool.
rule of cool is working with the plot so well right now. And then the fight that you have, how Axel's just like jumping in and out of the flames, and then you have to like use like burst frontier, then you're like running on the flames with them to actually like chase them down. It is just it's like in your face. Let's just keep pushing forward.
Yeah,
and then
it doesn't even matter.
And then when you get to Sora, like in his egg, and Diz just comes to twist the knife into this 14-year-old kid. He's like, "You're not real. Your entire life is a lie. I made that up. You're nothing." I was like, "Geez, dude, calm down." He like, share some of your anger with Sora. It'll make him a better person. That's all you're good for. And I'm like, "Gee, sheesh, calm down."
Yeah, he definitely did not hold back at all with the boys. No. Yeah, but then Sora comes out and he's like level 1. And I'm like, well, what did I just do all this for? And you just have to start your journey with Donald and Goofy, who are also level 1.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay,
Then
these
he's-
lackeys again.
They're sleeping in the egg because they you save all the AP and like all the defense and attack ups just for Sora because they're
Oh yeah,
basically
no, yeah.
useless.
Like I got an AP, and then Donald was like, "I could use one of those." And I'm like, "No, no, like no, not
that's
for you."
That's for me.
Like the AP rings with like 28 AP. You're just like, I'll have one of those on that finger. And it's hilarious.
I was thinking like remembering like because this is when like character customization like started being big or whatever.
Yeah.
How I was kind of hoping they would show up on Sora. Like say you got like the galactic belt or something.
Yeah.
I was hoping like with all the belts that he had on for that outfit, I was hoping that the galactic belt would actually show up. But
It was
didn't,
one
and
of
that's
them,
fine.
No, yeah, I was hoping the same thing with like when the fairies from Sleeping Beauty were like they had their whole like tailoring room. I was like, oh, we can change costumes here now. Like we can like
Yeah.
like really customize Sora. But yeah,
You know, the crazy thing is, like, did you ever play Fragmentary Passage at all?
I don't think so.
Okay, so Fragmentary Passage is pretty much like during the skip from Birth by Sleep where Aqua is just like stuck in the realm of darkness for like a decade.
Yeah.
And in that game, you could customize her. You could give her like cat ears, for all the weirdos out there.
Oh, okay.
You could give her like a little feather boa or whatever. You could change her outfit very slightly. So I was thinking that's what they were going to do for Kingdom Hearts 3, but it never came in at all, which is kind of lame. But
You know what? You know when they did do character customization, it was Union Key. You remember that?
Union Key. I have I have a lot to say about Union Key. Yeah.
But back to Kingdom Hearts 2. Kingdom Hearts 2, I think, had probably some of the most fun gameplay like in any game. It was just, it was so fun.
It's like if you found a way just to string some of your favorite stuff together, like when we were talking about like how I wish Sora would have been.
Yeah.
It's like I'm thinking to myself, like use the down explosion, everybody gets hit up in the air, and then you use the Magnum move, everybody gets like knocked away, and then you use like thunder, and then you kill all the enemies like that. You could just clear a room instantly. It was insane.
Yeah.
And then just the way that you were able just to play the game was very cool. And the reaction commands kind of got toned down like in Kingdom Hearts 3, but the reaction commands were some of the coolest stuff. Like, say, for the fight with Zaldin, where you had, like, learn, basically, where that was the only way you could dodge, like, his lances coming down at you.
Yeah.
And then if you collected enough, you were able to, like, counter move him or something. I was thinking, like, that is some of the cool stuff. Like, even with, like, the Twilight Thorn and Roxas's Die for the Heart, where it just, like, you just hit it. I was thinking, like, yes, I'm getting rewarded for doing something so simple. But, yeah. And they just look cool. Cool.
The reaction commands were definitely like, they were the coolest thing ever. They just made everything look cool. Like you were just like in the Xemnas fight at the very end, you and Rico are fighting back to back, and you're like deflecting all of his little ethereal blades. Yeah. I thought that I felt like a kid in a candy shop. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, it was very like,
and like I would stop with one of the characters just to see if they would just like take damage, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, so this is like I'm actually in this. Yeah, but like, yeah, and then you had like Riku would like hold Xemnas' arms, and then like Sora would be like, I got you, and then it was just like those reaction commands really made took the game to the next level.
Definitely. When you were talking about the Xemnas fight, I thought you were talking about the 1-on-1 where he had with like Sora, like beforehand, like when you run up and down like the skyscraper, like fighting against him, how there were like 3 separate commands, where one where, well, if you press too early, he beats you and you take like a ton of damage. The second one where you do it like kind of in the middle, where they just kind of like stare at each other and like go up and down again. They basically trade places. And the third one where you do it at the last second when he's about to attack you, you counter him and then you do a ton of damage to him.
Oh no. Yeah. But yeah, that was cool too.
Yeah, like the reaction commands really made that game.
Yeah.
It was a good full package about everything that happened in there. Like Kingdom Hearts 2 was just it didn't feel as good, like plot wise, as Kingdom Hearts 1 did.
Yeah.
Because just like a lot of stuff just got there was story wise. Yeah. It just got added in there.
Made it a lot more complicated. But honestly, I don't know. Like I felt like the gameplay definitely made up for it.
Definitely.
I also think that the variety of worlds and just different forms in general, like the aesthetics of the rest of the game, were really, really solid.
Yeah. I like how you spent a lot more time, like in Olympus, you spent a lot more time with the underworld this time around.
Yeah.
That was a cool little, just different aesthetic.
And you had like Oron or whatever his name was. Which I was like, okay, who's this guy? Which Final Fantasy is this guy from?
I didn't play all the Final Fantasy games, so I only played 7 and kind of sort of 15. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I also just want to say that the Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2 crafting systems were really, really solid. Like, I definitely think that the Kingdom Hearts 1 was better just in terms of resource gathering. It felt more meaningful when you just like stumbled upon something and it was like Orichalcum Plus. But then Kingdom Hearts 2, I remember like having to go back into the world that never was and farming this one specific like pack of like nobodies just to get one crafting material. Like I needed 8 of them and I only had like 1 of them.
And it had like a 5% chance of dropping or something.
So you just had to like walk in and out of a door and like keep fighting them to get the ultimate weapon or whatever I was trying to craft. But yeah, I definitely think that crafting system is way better than whatever Kingdom Hearts 3 had with Ratatouille. Because I think that's what the crafting system was.
This looks like a good spot to find some ingredients. And there was no option to turn that off. That was one of the biggest mistakes of that game.
Oh, I think there were a lot more. I definitely think that wasn't one of the biggest because there's a lot bigger mistakes. But I'm done with Kingdom Hearts 2. I honestly have a hard time trying to put Kingdom Hearts 2 and Kingdom Hearts 1 like on the scale because I think they're equally good in their own rights, but they're definitely better than most of the other ones.
And then we can get to Kingdom Hearts 3. Well, let's just segue. Like, if we have enough time, we'll talk about Unikey. But for Kingdom Hearts 3, my goodness, did they drop the ball on that game? Yeah.
A lot of people will grill you for saying that, but it's like you're a hater. You don't like having fun, and it's like I do like having fun. That's why I hated the game.
I played these other Kingdom Hearts games that were very fun. There was something wrong with this one. It's like somebody got my order wrong at McDonald's, basically. Like I didn't want onions on this. Why do you put onions on this? Well, not only did I put onions on there, but I also put a bit of sauerkraut and an extra heaping helping of strawberry jelly. I'm like, what the hell is this?
It was like the pretty patty or whatever. It's like I definitely think when Kingdom Hearts 1 is a platformer, Kingdom Hearts 3 is like, it gives you that like open world feel, but that's definitely not what I wanted in that game, because it's a lot less vertical, like, density, and a lot more just like horizontal, just landscape where you can just run around. And like, while it looks pretty in Unreal, I just didn't really care for going to Andy's house and then seeing like 3 miles down the road as a toy, and I'm like, okay, I have to run down there to get to the toy shop or whatever. But yeah, it's definitely a lot more focused on that like open world feel, even though it's not open world at all. It's like you just traverse it like horizontally, as opposed to like going upwards with limited jumping. I definitely feel like that was probably my main concern, because then you had all these other levels, like Pirates of the Caribbean level where you're on a ship, and I'm like, wow, they're really putting like a boat, like what is this, Phantom Hourglass? Like, what am I supposed to do here with a ship? But yeah, what were your thoughts?
I was gonna say, it kind of makes sense why they added like all the Final Fantasy type stuff in there, where Sora could actually just run up walls, basically, and he already had like an ability to fly around. Like, they added a lot of movement into the game. It just feels like it doesn't matter at all.
Yeah,
the way that you can move around,
it's not meaningful.
Yeah, like say for the Big Hero 6 world.
Oh yeah,
have like all the like, it's cool how you can go up and down the buildings and everything, and how you can like jump from like the little floating blimps or whatever. But I feel like it would have been better if they made it just a little bit tighter knit, because you know how you have like the one ability, like the flow motion ability, where like if you dash into a wall, you like magnetize to it and then you jump off. Yeah, I feel like it take a couple of cues from like the Insomnia or just Spider-Man in general. About how he moves around. Is like you can like dash between like a whole bunch of like stuff. You could have they even had like those little challenges of like where you get around the city to get points or whatever. Yeah, they could have added like some more segments like that. Maybe a few more. Instead of like having the train be like the rails that you grind on, you could have like a few like power lines. Like you could like just really like push like in Mario, basically, like in Odyssey, where they really just push like how much you could do, and like the way you could make Mario move around from like one place. They should have really pushed the flow motion and push like the Final Fantasy like anti-gravity. Oh look, I'm literally running up a building type stuff.
Yeah, and even when you're doing that in like Odyssey is also still very dense. Like in Kingdom Hearts, like the Big Hero 6 world, like you were mentioning, like there was probably like 4 or 5 chests in that whole city that you could like find, and the rest of them where you found like 3 secret emblems or whatever. But the worlds just felt really empty to me, which was my biggest con of the game, where it just like, where Kingdom Hearts 1, everything was dense and there was a lot, like maybe 5 chests in 1 square foot of space. Kingdom Hearts 3 was just like 3 square miles of just nothing before you got to anything.
It's like, I like how in the Big Hero 6 world and in Twilight Town, they finally put people in there. Yeah. But I feel like it would have been better because they only showed up like after cutscenes. Because the first time you go to Twilight Town, it's like you see Hayner, Pince, and Olette like running away from like a massive Heartless. And I'm like, oh man, are the Heartless going to like try to kill people while we're here? So it feels meaningful that we're in this world. Like Sora's actually doing his job as a Keyblade wielder, like protecting people's hearts. But no, they just kind of showed up afterwards. It's like, it feels like, I'm glad that they're there, but they could have put like just a little bit more thought into it. Just push it just a little bit further. And then
the first NPCs were just like, you can't like interact with them at all. They're just kind of like, just kind of hanging out.
And then just the world by world beats. The only world where I can say like it felt important that Sora was there were the not the Kingdom Hearts, the Big Hero 6 world, because you get you get Baymax back. It's like, they didn't just replay the movies. They did like we already did the movies. Like, here's like an after story that also like connects with everything. I'm like, yes, that's good. And then it wasn't even due to Sora. It was in the Toy Story world where Woody just roasts Xehanort. He's like, nobody must love you. That's why you're doing all this. And Xehanort like actually pauses for a second. He's like, I just got roasted by a toy. And like, it felt important that they were there. Like, I'm glad. Oh, and Monsters Inc. I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah, because again, it was like the whole after story thing. It's like Boo came back and like they're just trying to hang out, and like the Heartless are and the Unversed are just, and nobody. Oh god, there were so many enemies. We're just like messing around with everything. It's like if like Sora being here makes sense. Like it's good that he's here. He's helping out. We're not
replaying the story and being like sidearmed as like a character, as an important character.
It's like Entangled, like when a Flynn and Rapunzel go off into the boat, and Sora's just like sitting there like, man, I'm so happy for them. I'm like, can they get like attacked by a Heartless or something, so I feel like there's a reason for me being here?
It's like the only real agency Sora had in that entire story was when he was dancing in the town square, and like he was like getting people dancing, and he's like shimmying on the barrel. I'm like, okay, Sora, okay. Yeah. But then it was just like, okay, like he's not even a side character. Like they removed those like two characters, like the brothers or whatever, and they put like Marluxia in, or just some other side character from the organization. Yeah. Just to like fulfill that role. But Sora just, he's just unnecessary. Yeah, and then the Frozen was the biggest offender of that. Climbing up and down that mountain 3 times. When it was like climb up the mountain again, and it got to the point where Olaf loses his body again, I was like, you've got to be kidding me, bro. This is
mainly just mini games and getting back to the same place 3 times. And like I want to say like in one of the pre-patches, they actually had a Disney watermark when Elsa was singing Let It Go, and Sora, Donald, and Goofy, look, they got me doing it now, are just freezing. I'm like, why? It doesn't feel important that we're here right now. And then Larxene shows up like, yeah, we're trying to turn her into a Heartless because she's really powerful. I'm like, well, are you going to do anything? She's like, nah.
Yeah, so I read something interesting about that, and it was saying that there's like a cutscene before you fight the Heartless at the end, and it's just Elsa like walking into like a lake, and then just like nothing happens, and then like a Heartless appears. Like Disney actually didn't have the story fleshed out for Frozen, and they were going to make Elsa like a villain in like Frozen. But then when they fed the idea to like Square, they were just like, we don't know what's going to happen with this. So I think Square actually made Elsa like the villain, and like she turned into a Heartless. But then Disney was like, no, don't do that. Like she's like a good guy. And so they just like had her walk out into the middle of a lake, and then she like, there's just a Heartless there. So there's just like no villain, but like a Heartless appears. So like the story made no sense, because I think Disney was like, no, you can't do this with our character, because she's like iconic, and
little girls love her and everything. Like
they don't want to see her turn into like a monkey or whatever Heartless she turns into.
She turned into a wolf, like an ice wolf. I feel like that's kind of cool, but they could have. Well, again, I don't get Disney money. I was thinking to myself, like maybe they could have, instead of Sora like dealing the final blow like through sisterly love or something. Yeah. What's her name? Anna?
Anna, yeah.
Yeah, Anna could have been like, Elsa, I know you're stronger. This is gonna like pull her out of the darkness, and then like to give the organization members like some more importance to be there for like the actual characters of the story, instead of just like being here. Oh, we are evil. We do evil things. Larxene can be like, wow, like the power of the heart or something like that. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. She's like, I refuse to believe something, just something like her usual snarky self.
Yeah.
And then playing through the entire game, it doesn't feel like anything's important until you get to the Keyblade graveyard to do like the final Keyblade war, even though the other team only had one Keyblade wielder on their side. Yeah. And then that whole, did you ever hear about the theory where it's like they're in a dreaming world the whole time?
No.
Okay, so it's a doozy. Like, and it's so crazy because the way that Nomura writes, it could be true. So basically, you know how Riku like gets his hair cut when you're like in the realm of darkness for the first time with Mickey?
Yeah.
And you like fight the tornado? Okay. So you know how in Dream Dog's Distance he was Sora's Dream Eater basically because he had a little emblem on his back?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So people are thinking because, and he even does a little thing like, where in Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance where Riku's like lying on his back and like it's like continue or load or whatever. He does that after he gets like eaten by the Heartless tornado. Basically his hair changes completely out of nowhere. He's just like sitting like in like water or darkness or whatever, and then he hears Mickey calling to him, and then he wakes up basically. And then it's just so crazy because at the end of the game where Sora's also like trying to go find Kyrie's heart or whatever, right?
Yeah.
The way that people have theorized it is like, because, you know, there's time travel in Kingdom Hearts 2 as well. That while Sora was trying to find Kyrie's heart, he also time traveled. That's why you go back to looking like your Kingdom Hearts 1 self and your Kingdom Hearts 2 self. And then you become your Kingdom Hearts 3 self.
Okay.
After you're like making all the choices, looking through Sora's memories and everything about like choosing your stats. And then like when you go to the... Oh gosh, you go to the world of ocean and sky where you go where your heart and your soul are finally killed. You run into Marluxia's sister up there who talks. That's like Union Key stuff.
Yeah. Of course.
You run to Marluxia's sister and Naminé, and they're like, yada, 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 time travel stuff, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. You're not supposed to be here, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And people are like, oh, wait, this connects to this. This connects to this. So the entire game is basically, and then you've going through the entire events of Kingdom Hearts 3 at the beginning of the game. And then how... You know, in the Keyblade Graveyard, after you beat like the Lich or whatever that stole everybody's souls.
Yeah.
Because that's like also another thing about how they're like lying on their backs and like their souls or their hearts are like taken from them. Mm-hmm. How Sora basically rewinds time so that they can actually beat like all the nobodies and the heartless that like swarm. Like they got their asses kicked by the regular basic nobodies and heartlesses when they first popped into the Keyblade Graveyard. I'm like, I didn't spend like this entire game like leveling you up just so you could lose to a bunch of enemies. Like, are you kidding? We didn't even see the organization. Like Terra Xandor showed up by himself. He 1v9'd the entire side of Light. I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I honestly, that theory sounds like, it would be true. Like they might confirm it when they like finish all the Marluxia sister stuff.
Yeah. Or what is it that just came out, the rhythm game, like Melody of Memory? Yeah, where you're trying to fix Kyrie's memories.
Well, now you can play as Kyrie.
Yeah, after all this time, you can finally play as Kyrie. Yeah. And then I didn't buy the DLC. I just like watched it online. It's like Ventus and Roxas finally get an interaction with each other. And then you get to play as all the other characters. You get to play as Roxas. You get to play as Riku. I feel like that should have been in the base game.
Yeah, but you got to do it in 3D and Recom.
Yeah, but it was like just give them more money, and it actually fleshed out the story just a little bit more, but not too much more. And then in the DLC, you fight Yozora, basically, where it turns out I don't even know what's going on. And apparently it's another world, and Yozora is the real protagonist of the entire Kingdom Hearts story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like you've been in the video game the whole time. Like, this is real life.
This is the real world.
So welcome to 109.
Welcome. I'll see you in Shibuya.
Yeah. See you in Shibuya. It's like we'll connect the worlds.
So like in Neo, the world ends with you. I honestly thought the Sora was going to show up. I haven't played it yet. I got to play it.
That's when Final Fantasy 20 comes out, and then you'll actually have to know all the Final Fantasies.
Oh,
Yozora travels to all the Final Fantasies.
He was actually the old man who was in the burlap sack the whole time. He's in every single game. You just didn't notice it.
Yozora is Waka confirmed.
That makes sense. Yeah, I'm sure we can find things to talk about another day, but as for now, I think Kingdom Hearts is closed.
It's in the books. All right. Well, thank you for checking us out. Make sure to follow us, like us, subscribe to us.
Do the whole thing. Put a little smile in your comment or something like that. Just let us know that you're there.
And next time we're just going to continue talking about JRPGs, and we'll probably talk about the Persona franchise next.
Yeah. So see you next time. Damn it. Bye-bye.
See ya.